Rachel, what are we doing here?
We're talking to each other awkwardly in a studio and trying not to make it awkward.
Yes, this is it. We've ascended.
You're so much taller than I am. It's because you're in that chair. That looks weird.
I know, but no, this is as low as the chair goes.
Does
You can raise that chair
higher?
up, I think. No, I think that chair might be as high as it goes.
It looks a little strange. It looks like I'm miniature.
Well, it kind of works well because you are about an inch taller than me. So
yes. This is the only time you're ever going to be taller than I am.
by setting it up this way intentionally, I've made it so I am the tall
superior
one now in this relationship. I'm the superior one. Yes, it is I. I am the tall one now. So, yeah, I didn't really have any thoughts for how we start this here, but essentially, this is a podcast. And welcome to it? Yes, welcome to this podcast. Awkward silence. Dun, dun, dun. But yeah, basically, I wanted to start a podcast because for me, I feel like I'm always talking to a camera just in a room and I have nobody to actually look at or communicate with. And it's lonely. It's genuinely lonely. And I realized that after 2020 and all of us being stuck in our houses, which I was already used to being stuck in my house, but because I was self-employed. But now it's like, I really have not had the chance to interact. And there's a ton of people that I really like and I really enjoy getting to know and talking to, and I have not had the opportunity to actually do that. And so I'm hoping that through this, I can talk to a lot of different people, creative people, filmmakers, educators, literally anybody. It doesn't really matter. Just people that I find interesting. And also with that, maybe my wife too. I don't know. Just a thought.
It's not a bad thing.
Because I got to tell you guys, Rachel is really the source of 75% of my jokes, 80% of my ideas. Like, so much of it comes from this woman, and she's always in the background. And you need to be a star.
You need to be a star.
A little bit.
Yeah, I'm fine being in the background, but I don't have to be in the background. I'm not scared of it.
The way I think about it is, whenever me and Rachel, before we were even dating, she would text me that she was watching my videos or something like that and be like, silent support. I'm a silent supporter. And she would always text me that.
Started.
She would do like hashtag silent support. Like she would always do that for me. And I was like, man, that's so great. This woman's incredible. I should probably marry her or something.
You weren't thinking that then. Maybe a little bit.
I don't think I was necessarily. But at the same time, like, you've always been very, very supportive of me. And our child is already waking up. We put her down for a nap, and she's already moving. Welcome to the podcast. It's going to be 3 minutes, and we're done.
It's a really fast podcast. We could do it all again if we
I think what's going to happen here is if she gets up here in a second, we will cut, and then we'll just come back fresh and ready once she goes down for another nap, because this kid's a really good sleeper. Second kid naps like 3 times a day. It's wonderful.
I don't know. She's going back to sleep. This is our life, though. Like, we have a baby. We have a toddler. We barely work. Then we work in 2-minute increments, and then we switch, and we work for 2 minutes, and then we switch.
Yes. Being self-employed like that, there's a lot of... whenever you have kids, so much of it is this balance, this work-life balance, I feel, of... And this is something I struggle with all the time. I know that you struggle with. Like, we're always trying to... What work do you need to get done today? Like, we start off our day, and I usually wake up much earlier so I can get some work done. Usually an hour to 2 hours earlier. I can work out, get some work done. And then I will then be interrupted from my deep work, as it were, by scurrying little pattering feet of a 4-year-old coming in. Our firstborn, Leah, saying, "Daddy, good morning." And I'm like, "Oh, good morning. Hello." So then productivity stops for like an hour to 20 minutes to an hour, something like that, while I'm hanging out with her before Rachel gets up with baby numero dos, Iris. So I'm burping here on camera, drinking my Topo Chico here.
Love it.
Not a sponsor, but maybe
wish.
Someday. Oh man, dude, if I could get a supply of this stuff, oh my goodness, it would be incredible. But then you get up.
And I get up, and we're consumed by breakfast and mommy, I want to watch a show, and I need to go to the bathroom, and all of those parenting things. And I feel like we don't get back on track until after breakfast at like 11, be like, what did you need to do today? Okay. And so we try to prioritize, like, what do you need to get done? What do I need to get done? And that's a mix of like, oh, I need to answer all these emails or make content or go film something for you, or it's I need to work on the taxes, or any of the behind the scenes stuff that I do, like emails and invoicing, and or also like I need to do laundry. Like we don't have any laundry.
So much laundry.
I do 8 loads of laundry today, maybe 8 loads, but easily 4. But it's hard to stay on balance, like on track sometimes.
Yes. I feel like there's the morning breakfast period is probably a good 2 hours of our day right now.
But we really like breakfast.
Yes.
Like we really like breakfast. That's a whole other story of like, I just need to make myself some huevos rancheros.
To be clear, I'm not as big of a breakfast person as Rachel is. She's more of made me a bigger breakfast person. Back in the day, it was me and a bowl of cereal. But then marrying Rachel, she's very, very breakfast lover, you could say. Big on pastries, big on baked goods, big on...
But also eggs.
Yes.
Coffee, juice. It's all good. Avocado.
We're probably consuming 8 eggs a day at this rate here.
I just ate 3, kids. Just me.
Just for fun.
Just because.
Just a quick 3. But then we're going into... I would say like it's after breakfast, we're getting into, okay, now here's the productive time of the day, hopefully, which lasts, if I get good work done in the morning, which is like 2, hopefully like an hour or 2, then I really only have the mental capacity for probably like 3 more hours of work, if that. And then I'm just kind of brain dead for the day because I work really intensely. And so at that point, like 2 or 3 rolls around and it's like, well, I guess what are the kids doing here? Like, so I basically passed off. If I'm working primarily initially, then it's just sort of a transition off to, okay, Rachel, you get the rest of the day because she does great later on in the day. And I take the kids as much as I can.
Yeah, you'll take Leah somewhere, or you'll take both of them and entertain them, which is a task on its own.
Yes.
And I'll get a couple hours of work maybe to do whatever random thing I need to do, even if it's just laundry or filing taxes or all the mundane things, but I don't dislike it. But right now I think we're trying to prioritize Leah as much as we can because she's growing up and going to go to school soon, and our time is limited with her, and so that's sad.
It is weird, like, I don't know, being self-employed, like we're home all the time, but also I'm like, man, my kid's 4. Where's the time gone? Where's the hours gone? The days? And it's just blazing on through. So here we are. We're almost about to be like parents with kids in school, which is crazy, but Iris is still really small, so we got a lot of time with her still. But I think that's what they say, right? You just have a kid, and then once your kid grows up, you just make another kid, so you get to experience the baby.
So you forget that the other one's growing up?
Yeah, you have to offset it by having another child. That's my understanding.
I don't know if I can handle anymore.
Yeah, if you ask us like 3 months ago, whenever our baby was the first couple months of her being born, I was like, we're never having any more children. And then last week we flip-flop a lot. Last week we're like, yeah, we should, like, we can totally have more kids. We want some more kids. And now this week we're like, I don't know if we need any more kids. I don't know. 2's a lot already.
I feel like we're feeling tired this week, and this week we're like, I can't deal with it anymore. We love our children, but we're also trying to, like, what do we want our life to be? Yes.
I feel like the last really 2 years of our life since buying a house has really been sort of focused on what do we want our lives to be? Like, what do we want our lives to look like? What do we want our kids' lives to look like?
Philosophical questions.
It is. And this is a deep podcast, okay? It's deep.
I feel like I always imagined us with more than 2 children, but now that we have 2 children and I really like our life right now, and we're trying to prioritize spending time with them and also traveling as much as we can, everything gets slowed down when you add more. I don't know if that's selfish of me or just prioritizing.
I don't think it's selfish, because I think that every single family can be unique and different, and I find myself struggling a lot with thoughts of, well, what are people going to think if we don't have any more kids? Or what are people going to think if we live our lives a certain way? And I think that that's part of just sort of creating a family and figuring out
what's the best for us. Yeah. And I feel like want to talk to Leah about it too. Like, what does she want our family to be? Because she's old enough to conceptualize that concept somewhat. Like, this is what our priorities of a family are. This is what our rules of a family are. We've started talking about that with her. Like, what is she gets an input too, because this is her life, I think. Like, we're the parents, but also like, what does she prioritize as a person? Like, she's her own person.
Yeah. She's only 4. Currently, she's prioritizing Pokemon. Lots and lots of Pokemon, which I'm fully supportive of.
She loves Pokemon, coloring, being inside. She says, I'm not an outdoor girl or outside girl.
I'm an inside girl, Daddy. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, she gets that from me. I was totally that child growing up of like, I don't even know how to ride a bicycle. I am like the worst. Like, my parents bought me a bicycle and I don't think I ever rode it because like, I'm not doing that. So I was so like anti going outside. So Leah takes after me in that aspect. Like, she just wants to color and do art all day and play video games. And if she turns into an artist nerd, we're good with that because that's what we are too.
We're pretty much artist nerds, so that's okay. But I do feel like, I don't know, this is what's interesting about Rachel, okay? Like, she's got some weird quirks, all right? You're going to figure this out.
We're all about the quirks.
She's got a lot of them, okay? But it's really fascinating to see sort of our daughter take on a lot of those. And so she has a bicycle, though. I will say she has a bicycle.
She's definitely more outgoing than I am in a lot of aspects because I think some of her personality is more you. But as far as her interests, I think her interests align with like me, and her a personality type and her need to control is more me.
It's very interesting to sort of think about how this sort of pans out and like, okay, what are your kids going to look like? How are they going to act? I guess this is turning into a parenting podcast, but that's fine. At least this episode.
That's a huge aspect of our life. I feel like other episodes might not be about parenting at all, but
yes. And that was one other thing I want to touch on here, considering this is sort of the inaugural episode. And it's funny because I've actually recorded like multiple other episodes, but I wanted to release this one first to sort of set the tone of what this podcast is. And I guess sort of the tone would be that there is no tone. Like I said, this podcast is for me. Okay. It's for you too. Like, I want you to be entertained ideally with this and maybe educated a little bit, but I have a YouTube channel for a lot of education stuff. So I'm trying to go like, maybe this can be more entertaining. And like I said, this podcast is for me. It's for me to be able to talk to people and to get interesting ideas and thoughts and just literally just like grow friendships with other filmmakers and creators. And I find that if I just call somebody out of the blue, they're like going to be like, huh, what are you calling me for? But if I'm like, hey, you want to do a podcast? They'll be like, oh yeah, sure, we can do a podcast. And then it's literally those conversations just happening and being recorded, which I'm somebody that listens to a lot of podcasts. And some of my favorite podcasts are ones that very low on fluff. It's just two people talking about random topics. And I find that super interesting. And so, hey, if you're interested in that, stick around. That's kind of what you're in for here. There's a lot of randomness here. But if not, that's cool. I've got a YouTube channel. You can watch that if you want like the direct dosage of info.
This is more all Matt all the time. What's in Matt's brain? Who is Matt talking to? What is Matt thinking about? Apart from and connected to all the other YouTube and all the other media. So it's adjacent, but it's not exactly the same.
You want more Matt? It's here.
It's Matt's here.
I'm here. Hello.
With
it's
sound
me.
Effects and
which to be clear, like as I said earlier, I want low fluff. I'm like, people are like, you gotta do an intro. No, there's no intro for this here. Okay, we're keeping this low budge. Okay, maybe some sponsors. Maybe we'll do that.
Love
maybe
that. Little Topo sponsor.
Topo sponsor.
That would be a hard one to get. Sponsored by CocaCola.
This isn't.
I know.
By Coca-Cola.
I know.
Topo is like their own.
I know it's not Coca-Cola. I was just thinking of another brand.
Yeah, like they're like their own company out of Mexico. They're not.
I know.
They're not owned by the man.
Yeah. We were talking to someone and they're like, I don't know what
crap.
Topo.
No, 2020, the Coca-Cola company.
I thought so.
It was
See,
very.
I am not crazy. I was like, I'm just going to cover this up and pretend I'm not stupid, but that's what I thought owned that company.
It's very tiny lettering.
See,
I
have
it till the
very
end.
specific knowledge, and I do really like Coca-Cola, so maybe that's where it comes from.
Because they keep putting all this like made in Mexico by Topo Chico. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's going to be great. Topo Chico
Was it acquired
USA.
by Coke?
Like,
or has it always been Coke?
I don't know.
Matt
Coca-Cola
feels-
owns everything. It's fine.
Matt feels like you don't love it as much as you used to, though. Like you lost like a 1% affection
No,
towards
this is
it.
still pretty good. I got to say.
I don't like any of that stuff. That stuff's gross.
I'm only drinking these, by the way, because I received them for free. Not a sponsor again, but we did hang out at this big lake house owned by Music Bed Licensing Company last week, and they were like, hey, what snacks do you want? And I was like, oh, I have so many snack requests. But like top of the list was, can you give me like some sparkling water, maybe a Topo Chico, because this stuff is expensive. It costs a lot, especially like the liter bottles. Like,
You don't even buy that for yourself
I
because
don't.
it's too expensive. You feel bad about it.
I really do. There's a half-liter bottle. It's expensive, so I don't buy it. But then they bought it, and I was like, yes, sign me up. Oh, my goodness. That built in nicely. Yeah, I like that one.
It was like that was your special effect right there.
There you go. Sound effects by Matt. Yes. So, yeah, Topo, like, hit me up if you want to do that. I'm actually thinking, I was talking to Rachel about this literally yesterday. I was like, maybe I should just buy one of those Soda Streams.
Yeah, that might. I don't know. I don't drink any of it. I don't think it tastes good, but you drink a lot of it. So whatever you need to do to fill that void in your life.
I used to drink a lot of Coca-Cola, and then I stopped for a long time because I was drinking I was only eating like in college I only ate one meal a day, and I drank like 6 Coca-Colas, and that just offset my caloric intake, and it was terrible.
And you were very skinny.
I was like 120 pounds. I was very tiny.
You had the swoop hair.
Yeah, the emo look. It was
real different. No beard. Justin Bieber hair. Really skinny. Everybody picture it in your mind.
If you want to know why Rachel fell in love with me, it was that
You
look.
weren't that skinny when I met you. That was a little after that. You still had the swoop though, and no beard. It was a different look. Sometimes I miss your face a little bit.
I started in 2008. I started working out in a field with a friend of mine. Literally just like in a field. At just an open field by our university. He's like, meet me at 10 p.m. We're going to work out. And I was like, okay, because I wanted to try to get fit. And then he proceeded we did this. It was only this 9-minute kettlebell workout, but it just killed me. And I was like, oh my gosh. And he's like, yeah, you're not going to want to drink any more sodas. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I just stopped. And then I put on 30 pounds of muscle in a course of a year. So I literally went from 120, 130 pounds, 160 pounds, which was great. And after we got married, Rachel tempted me back to Coca-Cola, basically. But only I was drinking.
Drink Coca-Cola.
I was for a while. I was drinking one every few days, which was a lot more than I used to.
I don't remember that. That was too long ago.
So to offset that, the sparkling water came in, and I was trying to be healthy because I hit 35, and I went to my doctor, and she's like, hey, you've got high cholesterol, and you eat like a 15-year-old.
He does.
And I don't as often now.
No, you're much better now.
I've done better.
You eat a lot. You have a very high metabolism, which is good. But knowing your family history, you can't eat the things that you want to eat. You can eat a lot of it. You just can't eat. We've cut back on our red meat, and are eating more vegetables.
A lot of veggies, a lot of salmon.
Yeah. And now you eat some soy meat sometimes, and you have protein shakes.
That's a hot topic there, soy meat. Yeah,
yeah.
So
People are anti. Some people
people anti soy meat here. I gotta tell you guys,
some people just anti-soy.
The Impossible Foods brand, they got this Impossible sausage and Impossible burgers, and it's not as good as beef, to be 100% clear. But
obviously,
if you are it's better than 99% of anything else that is veggie that I've had. And I feel like they've made it for meat eaters. They were like, hey, we're not going to do Boca burgers. We're not going to do beans or anything like that. We're going to make you something that makes you feel like you're eating meat just a little bit, just lets you feel the meat. And it works. And it's pretty tasty.
Matt's all in on the Impossible.
We
don't eat it all the time. We still have meat, but we've offset. We're trying to be responsible 30-year-olds.
I would say more so whenever we dine at home. It's
Oh, yeah.
we're focusing more on healthy eating, like lots of salmon, lots of soy, like stuff like that, just to try to drop my cholesterol down because that's very high.
You're doing much better. And you've been working out?
I'm trying here.
You went on a run this morning.
I'm trying to be healthy, okay?
Like,
and
who
I
is
realized, that? I know. I realized that I'm terrible at running. That was one thing that I'm just not good at. I've never been good at it. And it's weird. Like, my dad was a cross-country runner in college, and my sister, cross-country runner in high school, like, for years, like, won all these awards and stuff. Both of them, like, won medals and stuff like that. And I'm over here like, why are my lungs so weak? My brother has an excuse. He has asthma. I don't. It's just me. I'm like, I just don't enjoy running. But I realized that a lot of it's just I'm not good at it, so I didn't want to do it. So I was like, fine, I'm going to try this. And so I started running like a mile. And today I ran like a mile and a half. And 2 days ago I ran like almost 2 miles. So I'm just I'm not running the same amount every day, okay? But I'm just trying to sort of get better at that a bit.
Doing good.
It's all while Rachel's sleeping, so she doesn't have to do it.
I don't have to do anything. I just have to hold the baby and make sure she doesn't wake up.
Yes. And I got back home and immediately she called me, which she does when I'm in the other room. She's like, I'm not getting out of bed or yelling. I'm just going to call him.
It's easier.
So my phone rings.
That's the
I'm
only
like,
time I call you anyway because we're always together. The only time, like, phone call in the morning, 7 a.m.
It's a very consistent phone call at like 7 or so. Today was like 6:45, 7, right about there. Yeah. So I'm like shirtless and sweaty. Like she's like, take the baby. I'm like, here's the baby. Okay. I'm sorry if I'm sweating on you, little baby. Don't mind me. Okay.
She can't complain. She's only 5 months old. So
she's a baby. It's fine. So yeah, I'm just trying
You're
to
not that stinky. You don't get that stinky.
See, look at all the stuff you're learning about me here. You want to know this here? We're telling them all the truth here in the first
fans
episode.
Want to know if you get stinky. You don't. You're not very stinky.
Not very stinky, not much hair.
Yeah, you don't have much body hair and you don't stink.
Does that blow your mind?
Top
that
knowledge.
Might blow your mind here.
Little
I don't
naked
know.
mole rat.
That's what she calls me. Her little naked mole rat, which is very weird because I can like grow a really good beard, but the rest of the body hair situation very minimal.
You have none. I came from a very hairy family, very sweaty gorilla family, and the Johnson men just like don't sweat and don't grow hair. It's very strange.
But that's one reason she was attracted to me. She's
Maybe.
like, oh,
you don't have back hair? Wow. You naturally don't have any.
Wow. There's a different kind of man out there. That's what I want.
You don't watch sports? Wow. I love it. Love it. Instant love.
We had a lot of connection there. Like, I think it was in our vows, or no, it wasn't in our vows, but it was like a question that you had asked me when we were dating. Like, you're not going to get into sports, are you? And I was like, I have no care for sports.
Not that I know more about sports than you do, I think. My parents, my dad watched a lot of sports and my brother does. And it was just like always on. And I just didn't want that for my life. I just didn't want a sport game always on. And that's fine if that's like what you like. But I just like needed that. I was like, I don't want someone that likes sports that I have to like go to games and pretend that I'm uber interested in. So I appreciate that. We'll watch a football game. We watched Texas A&M.
Yeah.
We both went to Texas A&M. We'll watch a football game. We like SEC.
We watch college football.
Football?
But NFL
Sometimes,
football?
like passingly. Like we're not going to yell at the TV or be super upset if they lose. Because they lose.
Woohoo.
Woohoo.
Yeah, they lose a lot. Oh, man. It's sad.
But we don't care.
Yeah. But, I mean, what would we do? We're in Texas. What would we do? We like the Houston Texans? Nope. They're terrible. Like the Cowboys? Nope.
Nobody likes the Cowboys unless you...
Everybody likes the Cowboys.
No. You either really like the Cowboys or you really don't like the Cowboys and you don't talk about it.
Yes. We're on the side of, the Cowboys are... When did I last watch? Like, somebody will tell me, like, oh, yeah, they're doing well. They're in, like, the semifinals or something like that. I'm like, oh, well, then I guess I'll watch a game.
I can't name anyone that plays on those games. I have no idea.
Don't come to this podcast for sports.
Yeah, that's not our expertise.
Communication.
I used to be great at, like, tennis. I was all up on my tennis news. Baseball. Astros. Pretty good Astros. Not anymore.
Literally, first time I ever met Rachel's dad. We were just started dating. And her dad's like, drive on down to Austin and we'll go to a Round Rock Express.
Yeah.
It's like minor leagues baseball game. And we'll go eat all you can eat Salt Lake barbecue beforehand, which Salt Lake barbecue, absolutely incredible.
It's an experience. Like, it's not the best barbecue I've ever had, but it's a full experience. All you can eat. Here's the pit. We're going to show it to you. It's pretty good. The sides are pretty abysmal, in my opinion. Like, if we're just going to be salty, like the sides are gross. Just eat barbecue sauce, bread, and ribs only, and then get your money's worth.
Like, even like all the meats are not stellar. You can get better brisket in a lot of places, but their ribs,
their sausage is okay.
The ribs and sausage surprisingly good,
and the barbecue sauce is real good. Like, just eat that on bread. Like, if you don't eat meat, like sometimes I'm just like, I just want sauce and bread, and I put some meat on it too though. But that sauce is like, we might have some in the fridge. Like, you can buy it at like HEB and be like, I'm just gonna drink this. This is good for my soul.
It's pretty darn tasty. And if you go to the actual Salt Lick, they sell like aged barbecue sauces. They have other ones that you can't
like
get
alcohol.
anywhere else. So it's pretty interesting.
In a barrel.
But yeah, I literally went to that Salt Lick, and the problem is that I'd eaten like 2 hours beforehand, foolishly.
You didn't know.
I didn't know. And so I get there, and it's her and her dad and like one of his other big
like
friends. They're all big. They're all like 6 foot plus giants.
It's not my fault.
And
it was like one of my dad's, like,
one of his close friends,
like college friends.
And then they're all like, "You better eat some meat here. You better keep up." And I'm like, really struggling, got the meat sweats, just trying to keep up with them, so that way they
respect you.
Yeah, like I want to be respected by the hopefully future father-in-law. I was a little nervous.
Yeah, I don't really remember that.
Thankfully, it did all work out, and
it worked out.
Yeah.
2 children later. We've been married for almost 10 years, so.
We're still in love. It's still happening,
working
y'all.
on it.
We're trying.
Even if I miss your face.
Yeah. But going back to sports, you mentioned tennis. Like, I don't even, she's always like, "What's the score?" I'm like, "I don't know how tennis works." I'm like, "It's love something. It's one love, two love."
Do you know what love means?
No. Like, and she's told me so many times. And it just immediately disappears from my brain. I don't know why. I just cannot ever remember.
That's how I feel about golf. Golf is like tennis, but like slower and less interesting.
See, golf is the only sport that I know because my dad made me play it in high school because he was like, you know, son, business deals happen on the golf course. You need to know how this works. Cue me becoming a self-employed YouTube filmmaker. So far,
people don't go golfing.
Nobody. No.
Know where we went? Topgolf.
Yes, we did Topgolf last week with the music bed crew that they brought out.
And people were impressed with you, so I think your dad's insight actually was helpful.
The years of playing golf and also recently getting back into it a little bit, just hitting balls, helped me to hit the ball straight. I'll say that. Like, I wasn't super accurate, but I was at least like hitting it in a straight direction, which was better than everybody else that was doing it. Like, "Wow, Matt, you're really good." And I'm like, I'm not hitting where I'm aiming for, to be clear. Like, the distance is all off, but at least it's going in that direction.
I didn't even hit the balls. They tried really hard, like, "You need to do this." And I was just like, peer pressure.
You got a little mad. You got a little angry.
Well, yeah, I did, because I was like, I don't want to play. And I only got mad when you tried to get me to play. I was just like, peer pressure doesn't work on me. I don't care. I don't want to do this. I'm not going to enjoy it. Why do it if I'm not going to enjoy it? And you were like, "You should do it." And I don't know what you said, but I was like, "You better stop talking right now."
And then I got scared. And I was like, "Oh, no, she's going to kill me." Okay,
yeah, I was
mind.
fine. Everybody else being like, "You should do this." I was like, "I'm not." You made I don't know what you said, some ultimatum or something. I was like, "No, I'm not." Like, why do I have to play Topgolf?
Because it's Topgolf. It's fine. You had some injectable donuts. You were fine.
Yeah. Like fried mac and cheese. Like, that's why I'm there. I was holding the baby and talking to my friends.
That's the best part about Topgolf is that you can have people that are interested in golf playing, but you can also have people that have zero interest in golf that are still having a good time because there's food and drinks.
Yeah. I was sitting down. Air conditioning. Fans.
Yeah. It wasn't bad. Yeah. Real nice.
I'd do it again. We've done it for weddings quite a few times, but I don't know if I've ever, maybe once or twice, played before.
Yeah, I can confidently say that I have filmed at Topgolf more than I've ever been there for leisure gameplay activities. I've probably filmed there 8 times, I'm thinking. 4 or 5 weddings, and then some corporate shoots. Yeah, like easily. And every single time I film there, they're like, "Sir, what are you doing with the camera? Sir, is it what's happening?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's for a wedding," or "Oh, is this like sometimes I didn't. The only time I didn't get stopped was whenever that conference, they rented out the entire Topgolf facility. So thankfully, didn't have to really worry
but about. You just go handheld, and they're like, "Okay."
Yeah. But I did once bring like an FS700, a bigger cinema camera to it, and they were like, "Sir, what are you doing? I got a big glide cam. I'm like, just it's for a wedding. And they're like, uh-huh. Okay, whatever. And they didn't care. But
Please
I was
don't
like,
sell this on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't been confronted that much. I got confronted there. I got confronted. One of my worst confrontations was at an IHOP.
Of all the places to get confronted about a video camera, IHOP.
Had my camera out front filming.
You think they'd want the publicity?
Please, sir, film us. We need more people to come here and eat these pancakes, please. Yeah, it was like it was the morning of a wedding day, and all the groomsmen went to IHOP, and so I'm like, I'll bring my camera and film you guys eating some pancakes. Why not? I don't think I even used that footage in the video, but it was a fun outing. It was enjoyable.
IHOP. I haven't been IHOP in like 15 years.
Yeah, we haven't had IHOP in quite a while, but every single time I drive by on like a Sunday morning, packed. People parking on the grass getting into IHOP.
Old people?
I guess.
Know. The problem with breakfast for me is like, can I make better food than what I'm ordering? Because usually I'm like, we're good enough cooks that I'm like, my pancakes are better, my eggs are better. It's like, why would I pay for that? Usually.
Yeah, for us, I feel like it comes down to convenience. If we're out somewhere in the morning or something like that, I mean, there's so many breakfast taco places in our town that it's far easier to just go get breakfast tacos somewhere and have a great time with it.
We eat tacos a lot. Like, I feel, how often do you think we have tacos in a week? Twice a week? 3 times a week?
At least twice a week.
I feel like if you combine going out to eat breakfast tacos, regular tacos, and tacos that we make at home, it's at least 2 or 3 times a week that we're, probably more. Because we had tacos last night.
Oh, yeah, we did. That's right. But we made those.
But that still counts. That's still
true.
A taco.
Okay, you're right. And those
plus breakfast, like maybe 3 or 4 times. Let's just be honest with ourselves. We have a problem.
Those were the weakest tacos we made last night, though, because it's literally take jalapeno popper, put into tortilla. It's now a jalapeno popper.
We just
taco.
had jalapeno poppers in the freezer, and I really like jalapeno poppers. But ever since I had this baby, I have like cravings of jalapeno poppers, and I just fry up a corn tortilla and put it in the middle.
Should we tell them about the taco pass?
I feel like that's a key point of your life that you have a need to talk about. So yeah. That's like one of your personality traits.
One of my personality is built around tacos. It very well could be. But there's a taco truck in our town called Un Poco de Todo. And
they're going to love that they're going to be in the podcast.
They are delicious. It is so good. But they have these just incredible, like this carne asada taco that's life-changing.
Matt's favorite breakfast taco, or any taco, I think, is a carne asada taco with cheese.
Yeah.
And theirs is very, very good. I don't even really love carne asada, but I love their carne
asada. I can't roll my R's right to do it, but they do it for me, and it's wonderful. But anyway, so they got these really, really good tacos, and I went in the first time, was mind blown, and then I went back literally 2 days later because I loved it so much. And one of my friends in town who does a lot of the marketing for different businesses, he was there, and he apparently does the marketing for them as a business. And I was talking to him and the owner, and they were like, hey, we're going to reveal this new thing that we're doing called the Taco Pass. And I was like, what is the Taco Pass? And it's this essentially a taco subscription where they said, hey, you pay us $350, which, hey, I realize some of y'all are like, wow, man, that's a lot of money. And I fully agree with you.
But we eat a lot of tacos.
I eat a lot of tacos. This is an investment. Okay, this is not a one-off thing. This is an investment. That's how I view it. They said, hey, like, you pay us $350. You can come in every Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, as it were. You can come in every Tuesday for the next 6 months and eat as many tacos as you want. You could even come in multiple times on a Tuesday if you wanted to. You could come here for
done that yet.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner. You want tacos? Any Tuesday, you can come in and we'll give you as many tacos as you can eat. And that's for 6 months. So I immediately said yes without even consulting. Rachel wasn't even there.
You did call me later.
I called you after I already told them I was going to do it. I was like,
I feel bad about this. Let me just make sure.
they're already like filling out the paperwork, which is like this taco card.
I don't think I would have said no, but I appreciate your concern that I would say no.
I was just like, let me just call Rachel. Like, hey, Rachel, I'm doing this thing. I'm buying a taco pass. She's like, whatever,
we have
cool.
this rule that if we spend over a certain amount of money, that we have to consult each other about it. If it's, I don't know what's our limit usually.
I thought it was like $50.
I think we need to up it. because $50 is a lot.
But probably not $350 though.
Yeah, that's too high. But I just like being consulted. Like, we usually don't like, no, you shouldn't buy that. It's more of like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I purchased the taco pass and showed up the next Tuesday, and they're like, hey, yeah, what tacos you want? On the menu, any taco. And so I proceeded to consume like 4 tacos. It was great. And this also includes like any specials they have or sides or anything else like that. So I think the first time that I went, I purchased $40 to $50 worth of tacos, or didn't purchase. I had used my taco pass for $40 to $50. And that's when I realized, like, oh man, this food truck's about to lose some money on me.
Yeah, but they love you. And then they had a contest like a month later.
A month later, they had a contest giving away one of these taco passes.
And of course, it's like, I want a taco pass. And so I entered, and guess what? I won.
And Rachel didn't game the system, but she did play well. Like, the contest was, you can enter on every time you post, you get an entry, and you can enter on Instagram and on Facebook.
So I got multiple.
And if you share a story, it counts. So Rachel got like 8 entries
no,
for this
it wasn't.
contest.
I think it was like 4.
4 entries? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like 4, but I still had more entries than anybody else, I think, and I won. So.
And I'm really proud. So now
I've won a lot of things. I consider myself pretty lucky.
She is very lucky. That's a whole other topic. But if you ever want to enter a contest or anything like that, just ask Rachel.
I'm trying to think of how many contests in my life I've won.
We've been to multiple free concerts.
Yeah.
6 contests? Yeah. And these are like big sweepstakes contests. Like
tickets to Coldplay, like money. Yeah, I won some
need
stuff.
to have Rachel just try to win the lotto for me. I haven't reached that level of gambling, but
why not?
We should probably start buying some scratch-off tickets. That's all I'm saying. But so this taco pass, then Rachel has
That's back on the taco.
Back to
important niche conversation.
So every Tuesday, we go to. It's usually every Tuesday. Sometimes they change the days, or if they're not open, we switch it to other days, which is fine. They're really flexible. But usually every Tuesday, we go and get tacos.
Yeah, we're I have it written in our calendar. Like, I've got my paper calendar, which is another interesting fact about me, is I have a paper calendar that I write all of our things in. I don't like using the phone.
She's not digital. She's all analog.
I have a phone. I use it sometimes, but I just it's not as satisfying to like write your to-do list in a phone. It just seems wrong. And so I have like written every Tuesday, write Taco Tuesday all the way through so I don't forget.
So I think I have till mid-June.
And then I have like another month.
And then Rachel has till July. We're doing pretty good here as far as
I think we're saving
the
money.
tacos go.
I think.
We've she didn't pay anything, and I have already significantly surpassed that $350 value.
I don't know what we're going to do when it ends. If we'll just get another one, if they'll let us, or we're just going to be like, oh, I guess I'm going to, because it can't stop. You can't stop going to the taco truck every Tuesday.
That's what's really hit me is I'm kind of addicted to it now. It's almost like a part of our lives and like a tradition. Every Tuesday we go get tacos from this taco truck.
And Leah knows about it, and she's like, are we going to taco truck? Okay.
So, yeah, it's part of our lives now, and they've sucked us in, and maybe I am just going to pay what is it? Would that be $700 a year for every 6 months? You get a taco pass for $350.
And that might be crazy to most people, but not to us.
If you think about it, we're saving money. Okay.
And this is why Matt eats soy meat, so that on Tuesday he can eat like 3 carne asada tacos, which is not low in cholesterol because it's got cheese and meat and all this goodness on it.
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff. So the rest of the time you have to have salad and fish.
I have to offset. And all that.
And protein powder.
God, it's good. That's tacos. Man.
Matt's like,
tacos really good.
Right now. I think we're going tomorrow.
Yeah. They weren't open on Tuesday, but they're open tomorrow.
But tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo, so we have to go tomorrow.
Yeah.
They're having I think they're having brisket.
Really?
They're doing brisket. I think for Cinco de
day.
Mayo. They're doing like brisket tacos and brisket potatoes, I think is what she posted. Matt says, I'm
down with that. Yeah,
you're going to think about that all day, aren't you?
The only problem is that sometimes Tuesdays just fall on like a normal day, so you don't get like specials, a ton of specials. But if you go on Cinco de Mayo or something that falls on that day.
We could just make this into a food podcast. We have a lot of food opinions.
I'm fine with that. That's totally fine with me. That leads into the next topic, though, I suppose you could say, is speaking of food opinions, I sort of had this thought like, well, if I'm starting other things, I'm not overwhelmed enough, like having kids, like, okay, I'll start a podcast, which, to be clear, I do not know how often I'm going to be posting this. It will probably not be weekly.
Yeah, We can try.
We're going to try.
I think it should be weekly.
If I can and if I have the time. Otherwise, in addition to that, I've also got a new Instagram that I'm starting. I'm planning on posting about it today, like making it official like today, the time of recording this podcast. So it'll definitely be out by the time you're listening to this. But it's called Matt's Food Guide. And what I realized is that I was somebody that always enjoyed writing restaurant reviews.
I don't know if we're going to get lucky this time.
I'll try to be quick here. Okay, so I always enjoyed writing like restaurant reviews. But I was always trying to be the like really positive. Like I didn't want to be that person on like Yelp or something that's like, this place sucks because I didn't like how their logo looked, or just some dumb thing where you're like, why is this person writing a stupid review?
You only write Yelp if it's positive usually.
Yes, because I want to I view that as sort of like helping a business almost. Like, hey, like this is just at least like telling people, hey, this place is good and it's contributing to their star rating, so hopefully more people will go to a place. Same thing with like Google reviews, for example. But I realized after I'd been doing that for years and years and years, like I have a lot of opinions about food and restaurants and where I eat at, and so 6 months ago or so, I started a spreadsheet, just a personal spreadsheet, just for myself, listing all of the restaurants in our town of New Braunfels and ranking them just for me, like just a personal ranking, like, hey, here's the best breakfast tacos in town. Here's the best American food.
We were losing track of like, where have we been? What do we like at each place? What do we recommend to friends when they ask? Where do we want to take people? And so Matt just started this like master list of like, these are the places we've been and if we like them or not. And then these are the places we still need to go to add to that list.
Because the goal is to eventually eat at every single restaurant in town. Because that'd be a lot of fun. Eventually.
Yeah, he always makes me go someplace new. Like that's like one of his rules. He's like, if we're taking other people, we can go to a known like entity. But if we're just us or just the family, he makes me go to someplace new, which I appreciate, but also secretly hate because I don't get to go to the places that I actually like.
The amount of times she's been like, no, I need to have this one thing because I'm craving it. And I'm like, no, we have to go to a new restaurant.
If I push back, you're not going to be mean about it, but it's kind of maybe we should make that one of the family rules so Leah understands.
Yeah, maybe that's that. I don't know.
We always go to a new restaurant.
When we have a date, like we try to go to a new place. So it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I basically realized after a while, wait a second, like I have this list. I should just make it public. And like, here's this ranking. And it's a little scary. I'm a little scared of it just because like,
I don't know how helpful it's going to be to most of our audience because they don't live in our tiny town.
And I am planning on expanding the list. Like I want it to be like all over the US, all over the world. Like, hey, here's the best place to get a steak in the entire world. I think that'd be really cool to have my personal list. That might be like your life goal.
Like that might not actually like, you could have this like master list. But it's going to take a lot of time.
But you got to start small. So we're starting off in New Braunfels, the hometown. Like here is the list of, at least according to me, like here's the best, here's the ranking of the best food in town. And I'm excited about it. I'm planning on just posting like a lot of like reels and things, referencing the list and things like that. Or the guide, I guess you call it the guide. Because I have a lot of friends that come to visit. Our town's a big tourist town. A lot of people come here and they're like, where should I eat? What should I do here? And I'm like, well, here's where I would go. Here's what I would recommend. The only thing that I'm a little scared of is if you have a ranking, of course you have the best places, but that also means you have the worst. And so I'm having to kind of be harsh to some restaurants and be like, I'm sorry, this is the worst taco in town.
It's the worst pizza in town.
The worst barbecue in town. I got to tell people that. And it sucks because I'm like, there's 10 other places better than this. Sorry.
It's a little more negative than you tend to be. You don't like being that negative.
Yeah. And so that's why I wouldn't post that necessarily in a Yelp or a Google review or something like that, because I feel like that's, I don't know, like I understand. I have a lot of friends that like own restaurants or have owned restaurants. And I know how hard it is to build a restaurant and to create something and to hope that people are going to pay you to go there, and the margins are terrible and like staff is terrible. Like I understand how difficult it is, and so I'm really trying to keep that in mind and be cognizant of that. Also, our child is doing a full plank in bed. She is like, I'm up, come get me. So yeah, what are we gonna do? I think we might go. I'm trying to convince Rachel maybe we'll go on a date tonight to a new place because we got to do it.
A new place?
Yeah.
I thought we were going to an old place.
Surprise. We got to follow the rules. But yeah, tune in next time for more exciting conversations about
something.
Topo Chico being owned by CocaCola.
I don't know. I hope this was entertaining. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like this is a normal conversation we would have all the time.
This is just our lives.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. See you later. Bye.
Bye.